airplane rolling into your yard?
Can you hear it?
Yeah, you got an airplane out there?
I got a landscaper out there.
Oh. Yeah, he's mowing the lawn with an airplane.
Oh, you got to cut it really short this time of year and then put the winter seed on so we have green grass all winter.
Oh, got a
I just realized I got a big old piece of turf out there underneath my basketball hoop, and my wife told me I was supposed to move it before they showed up today, and here I sit, and I'm like, damn it, I forgot.
Yeah, they'll move it. They'll move it if they need to move it.
I got Travis here. I'll yell at him.
Oh, yeah. T-Bone, what are you doing? Get him out there. Put him to work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got to go live on the radio here, too. I'm just, what's up, Facebook, folks? I'm just doing the share thing. What's up, YouTube, folks? Jumping on. Hang out for a sec. Let me get us live on the radio and kick this baby off. Hey, what is up, business nerds? Dan Plata, home service CFO in the house here. Let me crank that sweet tune up. Let's get after it. Should have probably played the Kaminsky tune, maybe. Maybe we'll have to do that after a break. We got myself in the house. We got Dave Kaminsky from Collaborate Pros in the house, and we got Corey Hillary from Kraus Anderson Insurance in the house. Thanks for joining me, dudes.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Bobby Walker checking in.
What's up, Bobby?
One of my favorite people. I don't know. He just says one of my favorite people. That's what he said. I don't know which one.
I think he was talking about me, not you.
I was gonna say. There's no way. I'm good friends with Bob, and there's no way he would ever call me one of his favorite people. So I assume
one of your favorite ice fishing buddies. That's what you are.
Oh yeah, that could be it. Speaking of which, Dave, you got to get your ass up here ice fishing this winter. I don't want any excuses. I don't want to hear nothing. Corey, you probably ought to come too. Corey probably would do okay on an ice fishing trip.
I could probably make it work. I've been known to go a time or two in the winter, so I think we would be all right. Plus, I have all the gear, but I don't need to bring any of it because I know you have enough gear for 75,000 people to fish.
It'll be around there.
Yeah.
Are there insurance policies for ice fishing?
Well, I mean, there's insurance policies for like if you were to throw an event for ice fishing, like liability policies. But at the end of the day, your automobile, that's always the question that people ask. You drive your truck out onto the ice and then you break through. Is it covered? Right. So yeah, no.
It's not right. It's not, is it? I'm pretty sure even like my ice fishing fish house is not covered out on the ice, even though like it's literally built for that. It like the wheels drop down. It is built to be out on the ice, but the insurance company doesn't cover it when it's on the ice.
Dan, are you sure about that?
I'm 90% sure.
Okay.
I feel like that was a conversation that I had with we have State Farm for our personal, and I'm pretty sure they were like, yeah, no, that's not covered. It's covered like when you're driving it around, but if you drop that baby through the ice, she ain't covered.
Yeah, I don't do personal lines insurance, so I only know about maybe a little bit more than you guys. But
hold on. Because I do this trip and this fish house gets used quite a bit for, like I work out of it every time I'm up there, and it does 4, maybe 5 trips a year, and one of those is always a full-on business trip. The other ones I could argue are pseudo-business trips. It could be a business asset, and if it was a business asset, then what?
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's still you still have the problem of any coverage for any insurance policy due to negligence, right? So if you are negligent and you put your anything on the ice and fall through, well, it's
who determines negligence?
That's I was going to say. I mean, there's 20,000 other people out there. It must not be that negligent.
No, it is. It is. Yeah, I mean, like literally, like I don't know if you understand that, like people being out on the ice, even though it is so prevalently done, it is considered negligence because you don't have to be out on the ice by any way, shape, or form. Which
you sure as hell do. I'm 99% sure that's the only way you're going to get those fish to bite.
I think you're right.
Unless you have some sort of like hovercraft or helicopter, and you're just sitting up there 10 feet off the ice, just kind of like sounding like Dave's lawn mowing guy out there that's just ripping around.
Right.
Well, fellas, thanks for joining. Viewers, thanks for joining. I always appreciate it. if you're new, I always forget to do this. If you're new to Bookkeeping Beer and BS on Turfs Up Radio here, thanks for joining. Welcome. Go to we're always doing this thing live on Facebook and YouTube while we're like on the radio. So if you want to see our ugly mugs, get out on Facebook, join that group, go out on YouTube, subscribe to the Bookkeeping Beer and BS channel, check us out there. And if you can't catch it live, which I know a whole bunch of people, we're like running businesses and stuff. We got busy stuff to do. Go thumbs up the podcast or 5-star that baby and get your podcast episodes there so you can check us out later. That said, today we were going to do a trivia episode, potentially the second ever trivia episode. Both of you guys were on the original trivia episode, weren't you? You guys were both gamers on the original trivia.
Yeah, I think I finished with more points than Dave. Not that I remember that well.
Everybody did.
Everybody.
I can double check the spreadsheet. I'll double check the spreadsheet if we have to.
We need to check it. Yeah, everybody had more points than me.
No need to check. No need to double check that. Oh, we'll see next week. Maybe we'll get enough. I kind of feel like we need at least five folks to play the trivia, and if we get 5 or more, then I've got. After we got off our last trivia episode, I just went to town writing more trivia questions. I was all about it. So we got more trivia questions in store. We'll do another trivia episode.
Well, hold on. So you and I are hanging out in Omaha the next couple of days. If I buy you a couple beers, you gonna sneak me a couple of those questions? Yeah.
Hey, you can help me write a couple trivia questions, and then maybe I'll sneak one in, when you're on just to like throw you a bone since you were struggling last time.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get for sure.
What's the zip code of Dave's new window cleaning entity? Oh, seems like I got this one.
Yep.
That was fun though. I enjoyed the trivia. I was kind of hoping we'd have enough today. However, I know like we're both going down to Omaha to go to a mastermind event with James Mansky. And since he's the one putting it on, he chimed in today. He's like, I can't make it today, fellas. I was like, I bet you can't.
You better. I'm sure you're very busy right now. Yeah.
You've got an event to put on. But we'll see if we can round up and it's the busy season, right? Everybody's just trying to like crank out, that last. I was talking to Andy, our business partner and manager in Minneapolis. And he's like, we could use a few more guys. And I was like, man, we only got like a month and a half left. Like all of a sudden we got a month and a half left here, maybe 2 months if the weather holds out for us. It's crunch time.
It was in the 20s up there just last week, right?
In the 20s?
I thought it was. Somebody said in Minnesota it was in the 20s.
Yeah, we got a little frost, but then yesterday it was a high of 77. We're all over the damn map. So I do think I was looking, because now it's like bow hunting season for me. So I'm really watching weather fronts and cold fronts and stuff. And I think Friday when I'm in Omaha, it's supposed to be like a high of like upper 40s here, and then a low in like the 20s again, I would be out bow hunting in a half a second if I was here for that forecast. But I'm gonna miss like one of the ideal cold fronts that a bow hunter's like drooling over the forecast for. So, oh well, I guess we'll just have to drink some beer in Omaha about it.
Yep.
Be a good consolation.
Write some trivia questions. That's what we'll do.
Be writing trivia questions. Mine will all be about like the rut or whitetail deer trivia questions. We'll see. Maybe I'll slip one of those in every once in a while.
Yep.
So since I got both of you guys, Dave, I know you was it this week or last week you just closed on a business?
It was Monday. It was supposed to be Friday last week, but it was Monday this week. So 2 days.
All right.
Yep.
And I'm going the opposite direction. I sold a business and signed that. I was down at our location last week trying to like figure out all the transition stuff and basically turn that over the weekend. So we got things going both directions. And simultaneously, like while I'm doing that, I'm on the phone trying to buy another business. So we're doing,
better to sell a business or buy a business? Is it better to sell or buy? Because now I feel like I like just spent all my money, and I'm like, do I have buyer's remorse? Or
I think the only answer to that is it depends. It's too hard to know in the moment, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons to do both, and that's what I want to get into. And since we got the insurance expert who found out that I sold this business. Now, Corey, you can't act like I didn't tell you we were like going to sell businesses. I might not have told you that it was done, but at least you kind of knew it was coming.
You did tell me that it was coming. And so you're right. You're only half at fault. Sometimes, Dan, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but like keeping certain people in the loop as you're going through a process is also relatively helpful so we can like prep things with you.
Yeah.
So, Corey, like, you asking me for workers' comp insurance right now? It's like I should have done that last week. Is that what you're saying?
It might have been a good idea to put some things in place, but yours isn't quite as bad because, you know, Dave, at the end of the day, I'm assuming the business isn't operating right now as of yet, right?
Oh, it's operating. Yeah.
Without workers' compensation?
No, not technically. Technically, it's under my umbrella of my other company.
Gotcha.
I do want to get separate workers' comp policies, though.
Gotcha.
So it's tight. I wouldn't have them working if they weren't covered.
Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes it's nice to have those conversations. What?
Do you get any grace period for like when you buy a business or start up a business before liability or workers' comp or anything would need to be like in place? Is there any leeway, or is it just like that?
I mean, it depends, Dan, because like Dave said, if you have something that can fit underneath the, if you will, the umbrella of your other businesses, then it can. The problem is the way a policy is written might not include an additional insured unless you specifically name the additional insured, right? And so it's similar to if you buy a house, Dan, they wouldn't let you close on the house unless you had insurance in place for the home, right? Unfortunately,
you can buy a car and you got a little grace period, right?
Right. There's a few things within automobiles. If you have a certain number listed on the policy, then you can just add cars and get rid of cars as you please. And no matter what happens, if they're in your name, you're covered. But if you have the wrong auto policy symbol on your policy, then you're literally not covered unless you notify and add that vehicle. So the best question is to ask your insurance professional you're working with, what do we have and what do you need to know and when do you need to know it? Because everybody's policy is different. I mean, that's the truth.
Now, in my defense, which I do, I find that I need to defend myself often. Is that a bad thing?
That's a you problem, Dan.
In my defense, we also just started a brand new business from scratch, and we were diligent about making sure the insurance was set up for that ahead of time. And so that was good.
You guys were great. Honestly,
I feel
that was good. That was being proactive, and a guy like me appreciates that.
And it's interesting. It's all Dave's fault, actually, that we even started this new business because Andy came back from last winter and was like, "We're doing high rise." so now, Dave, I don't know if you know that we got Big Kahuna's High Rise Window Cleaning LLC.
I was literally just thinking in my brain, is Andy coming back here this winter to clean some high rise? That'd be great.
I don't know if he is, because now we're going to have our own darn high rise to go out and sell and do. And we have an investment down in Naples, and all the thoughts and prayers to that area of the country, but they're going to need a lot of cleanup help. And we have an investment down there with our buddy Gino. And so he's like, there's more stuff, there's more mud than we can like spray off of stuff. Right. So our crews and our families are safe, but they're going to be digging out
like a water truck. Right.
He's working on some like really big setups to move mud, basically. Got a lot to spray. So we might send some guys down there to help them out. But so anyway, Dave, it's all your fault that we got into high rise, but we did do a good job of getting Corey in the loop on that one. And I do feel, and you tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's better that it's better to not let your insurance person know when you sold a business and pay the bill and keep paying the bill for an extra week than it is to buy a business and set it up and not tell your insurance person.
Correct.
Are you pointing the finger at me? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not saying any names. I'm just trying
to I have to defend myself.
I'm just going in my defense.
But I agree with you. You're probably right, Dan.
I was going to steer one way or the other. Let's do this though. I want to, I'm going to take a quick commercial break. Got to squeeze a couple of these in, and then we're going to come back. And Dave, I want to dig into what you've got going on, because this is a recurring theme with you, buying new businesses. And so I think this is something super interesting to dig into. And a lot of operators out there are thinking about growing their businesses. And then they're like, what's my marketing strategy? And like, yeah, that's a thing. But, a great way to grow your business really quickly is to go buy another business to add on to it. And I think yours was even a little more strategic than that in this case. So I want to dig into that. And like I said, I also, for good or for bad, sold a business and buying another business, started a new business. And I think all of that stuff is super interesting to get into. Let me crank up the volume on this sweet play out song so I can play us out of here like a real show host. We'll do.
I'm gonna go check my landscaper. I might be late, but I'll be back.
All right. Well, then I'll talk about all the businesses that Corey's buying up, or the businesses we're gonna buy up together. All right, guys. I'll get back. Let's do a quick commercial break. We'll be back with you on Bookkeeping Beer and BS on Turfs Up Radio, real quick.
Isn't it nice when the weather cooperates and crews complete jobs on time and on budget? But weather can cause delays, and with paper route sheets, jobs get lost in the shuffle. That's why you need Aspire Crew Control scheduling software, an easy-to-use, flexible, and affordable solution that allows you to shift schedules with a single click. Try Aspire Crew Control for free at aspirecrewcontrol.com.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
Hey, this is Jackie with the Deep End, the blue part of the green industry here on Turfs Up. List tips and tricks to manage your pool business. We have interviews with important industry leaders and news on the state of the pool industry. Hey, listen live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or download our shows from turfsupradio.com. Your industry, your station.
Attention all veterans. Have you heard about Turfs Up Radio's Jobs for Vets program? If you are looking for a job and you're interested in working in the landscape and snow removal profession, there just might be a company in your local area that is looking to hire. All you have to do is send us your resume at jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. That's jobsforvets@turfsupradio.com. Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Hey, Turfs Up Radio fans, do you know what time it is? That's right, it's time for Turfs Up Radio. Now you can catch us streaming live 24/7 with pro talk, pro tips, and pro interviews. Simply visit turfsupradio.com.
All right, business nerds. We're back with more Bookkeeping Beer and BS right here on Turfs Up Radio. We got Dave Kaminsky from Collaborate Pros. We got Corey Hillary from Kraus Anderson Insurance. And we got yours truly, Dan Plata, CFO, nerd, host, bullshitter, beer drinker.
Professional BSer.
Professional BSer. Literally, I don't get paid to do this. So I guess, isn't it you're only a pro if you get paid to do something?
That's very true.
So I don't know if I'm a professional BSer. I'm for sure an amateur. When we get a beer sponsor and they, cover all my Busch Lights, then I'll be a pro, I think.
Makes me want to sponsor this program and pay you just to call you a professional bullshitter.
There you go.
So cool, doesn't it?
Speaking of which, stand up. We got to see that shirt. We got to see this shirt. Stop, collaborate, and listen.
That's right.
There's nothing on the back of it.
Collaborate Pros.
No, there's nothing on the back of that one. Oh, that's way up high. Yeah, we couldn't even see it.
We couldn't see it when you stood up.
I have a smart camera on my new computer, and I can't adjust it. Like, when I'm on a Zoom and I go like this, the camera follows me. It's really weird. So, anyway, it doesn't do it on here. I kind of like it. But, like, if I get up and walk out, my camera literally somehow follows me. It's really weird. I don't know. I think Dan froze. Look at him.
Yeah, he did freeze.
He's frozen.
Dan.
Hello.
Wouldn't it be funny if he was actually holding that still and then just like started talking?
It's actually our show now, Corey.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, okay. While we wait for him, I know where he was going to go, so let's go there.
Let's do it.
Talk a little bit about your new exciting endeavor, your new exciting acquisition.
Yeah. So this was a company. Oh, look, Dan's completely gone now.
I'm sure he's restarting.
Yeah. So this was a competitor of mine in Flagstaff, and it's been a competitor for forever, basically 20 plus years. And man, dude did not like me. He just didn't like me because I pretty much took most of his business. And then when he was ready to sell, he wanted to sell to everybody but me. However, it's funny because he approached one of my managers to have him buy it. And my manager's like, I'm not doing this without Dave. Like, you know, because obviously he's worked for me for like 9 years and him and I have a great relationship. And he doesn't want to go do this behind my back. But then more so, he didn't want to be my competitor. So we worked out a deal. It took us, man.
We made it back.
Dan, I'm the host now, and we've already started without you. So
are we still live though? Is what I
It
want to know. I
says
know we're not.
live.
I see.
No, we were
that.
going on without you.
I appreciate that. Way to go. Let me close out of this radio app. I gotta get us back live. No, that's just like frozen up. That was super weird. My Wi-Fi just was like, nope, you're done.
Done.
No, this radio app isn't working. Okay, you guys carry on. I'm gonna dick around here for a second.
Yeah. So essentially,
it took you a long time.
it took 6 to 9 months, and my manager eventually talked him into, you know, doing the sale, having me involved. And this guy's been mad at me for many, many years, mostly because I've just taken all of his business. I've always tried to be friendly to him. I'm friendly as heck to all my competition. I'd much rather have friendly competition, you know.
Okay, now I gotta butt back in.
Cool.
Because previously on the show you had talked about a competitor that you thought was maybe willing to sell, and you just didn't know if he would even sell to you because he was a little salty.
Yeah, that's
And
him.
it sounds like this is the guy.
Yeah.
Was it your manager that like made it happen? Did I hear that right?
Well, so the way it worked, he was asking about $125,000 more than what it should have been. We did give him an offer, and he found somebody who was going to pay him his full price. But this buyer needed financing, and no bank would finance him because the business simply wasn't worth that. And then when that fell through, he reached back out to my supervisor, and my supervisor's like, "Look, I don't want to do this without Dave. Like Dave, I've been working for him for like 8 years. Like, you know, I know you don't like him, but you know, he's a really nice guy, and I kind of am where I am in life because I've worked with Dave." So he basically made it happen. Yeah, he talked him into it. And it's really unfortunate because when I finally saw him Friday last week, I went out to his house, and the guy gave me a hug, and I went to school with his son, and like I know a lot of the people that work for him. And it's really sad that like he just was angry at me all these years. And I even apologized. I'm like, I know you've been unhappy with me, and I'm sorry for whatever I did. And he said he wasn't unhappy with me, but he was totally lying.
And the funny thing is, like, if he would have been, a little more surplus mindset, you probably could have helped him a whole lot, and you probably would have helped his business grow. Like, I mean, in so many locations, it's we can work with each other to make the pie bigger. We're not like fighting over definitive slices of pie. We can grow the damn pie. And
Well,
he
and
was
then we got into
trying
his,
to make sure you didn't touch any of his slice.
and we got into his business, and he turns away about 10 calls a day that he gives to other competitors. And he never gave them our way, so clearly he was mad at us.
Right.
But we told the scheduler, the lady who answers, that's not happening anymore. Like, we're not supporting the other local businesses. They've been cut off.
We'll just go hire another person. I have a great solution to turning 10 calls away. Hire another person.
So I have a question, Dave. Is this manager of yours part owner of this new acquisition now?
He is, yeah. He's I'm really excited for him. So he is a 15% owner, and I'll let him buy some more equity / give him some equity as he earns it. Yeah.
So that you guys, that's kind of cool because you both have now, and relatively new for you, Dave, but you both have manager type people, essentially more boots on the ground people that are also part owners in both of your organizations. Dan with Andy, right? And Dave now with your manager. I mean, it's interesting because you don't see it a lot. I mean, it's not like it's prevalent in every single business where, you've got somebody that's really kind of a boots on the ground, supervisory type role doing it. Usually it's your owner, and then you got everybody else. And there might be a few owners, but it's usually not people out on job sites.
Yeah.
What are the pros, cons? I mean, I'm assuming there's more pros than cons if I try to think through it from the business side of things.
Yeah, I think there are more pros. It's kind of funny. This Flagstaff thing is a little bit of a it took time to put all together because our other manager in Flagstaff and Mitch have butted heads for years. They went to high school together many years ago, and Mitch says Brandon's a little punk ass, and Brandon says, well, Mitch is an asshole, and they're both right. Brandon's a punk ass, and Mitch is an asshole. They're both totally right, but I love them both. So the cons are getting all these guys to work together, but I think the pros are like the other workers, the other guys in our company that see. Like we've got somebody out running Denver. We got somebody running Prescott. We got somebody running Flagstaff. They see that we're willing to go do this for them and help them be successful and not necessarily be the worker. They want to go out and, be the manager or run a business. And then it just opens the ceiling of opportunity for them.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Dan?
Fun.
So ours was a little different in that, like Andy wasn't an employee of ours when we did our deal. He was running his own business. We effectively, the way the transaction worked is we bought his business with shares of ours and kind of put him in charge of the whole thing. It like that was what it looks like on paper to the IRS. The easy way to think about it is it was a merger. Just in a merger, like a new entity gets created, and we didn't create a new entity. We just kept it within ours. But in a way, like he was already a business owner. He already thinks like a business owner. He already acts like a business owner. It was a sneaky way for him to have way more stable income, a 3x size business to run, and a business that got through some of the problems that otherwise he would have had to solve. So it kind of expedited his learning curve a little bit.
Right.
And then he gets to work on problems that he's actually like better designed to work on. So Andy's like super great at leadership, really good at core values and building a team. And that's cool to do when you have 2 or 3 people, but it's super cool to do when you have 20. Right.
Yeah.
And he's so good at it. So like to get him up that learning curve and get like it put him in actually like a seat that he was better at by giving him a bigger business to run. I would say so the upside to me is he gets to run a business that is bigger and he's having more fun with, and it pays him better. And so he's more passionate about it. And all, not more passionate. You're always passionate about like your thing when it's all yours, right? Like it's hard to get that out of you. But it gives him way more opportunities, and I think he's better off for it. And it brings him new challenges and stuff like that. On the flip side, and for me, it allows me to do this, right? If I was out running this window cleaning company every day, I would not be here doing this.
Yeah, me too.
Right. Like, and yeah, Dave with Collaborate Pros, you wouldn't be able to do that if you're stuck in the day-to-day of running window cleaning businesses. So huge positive for me in that light. Now the negative for both of us is we're married, right? And there's no sexual benefits in this marriage. It's just like straight business. so
Right.
it's which marriages are great, right? You have tons of support. And Andy even said, like, we found that workers' comp error, like, on their billing, and I caught it. And Andy even said, he's like, that's why you have a business partner, because I'm not going to catch anything like that, right? That's why I have Dan as my CFO and business partner. And likewise, Andy's doing things that there's no way I would get us into and ever dream of. And Andy's, like, solving the problems and leading the team. And so
that's
pretty well in that regard.
That's where, because we all know that sometimes the mergers, the partnerships don't work, but that's where you two have gotten very, very, very I'll even say kind of lucky in the fact that you fit so well together because of the fact that you're so good at what each of you do. There's a lot of people that get together and they're the same person and then they butt heads and they collide. But I mean, just speaking from somebody that's worked with you and Andy, Dan, I mean, there's people in our office that are like, hey, we need this from Blue Skies. And I'm like, go to Dan. And they're like, we need this from Blue Skies. We're going to go to Dan. I'm like, do not go to Dan for that. Go to Andy. Dan will take way longer to get back to you. Sorry, Dan, it's the truth. And he's not going to give you as good of an answer because Andy knows the people he's with. Them every
Dan's
day.
just going to reply and copy Andy and say,
Right. And so when you can literally, as somebody that works with you as a professional, when you can literally know exactly who I'm going to based on the need of whatever part of the business we're talking about, that's how you know it's working. Right. I mean, that really is cool. If I'm sitting there like, man, I wonder who would do this between Dan and Andy. That's kind of a problem. Like that doesn't, there's not a clear definition there. So that's one cool thing I would give you guys kudos for.
Yep. Yeah. It's got, and I think if you don't have that, that's definitely something to work toward, right? Like you got to have that kind of segregation of duties and respect boundaries and what this person's accountable and that person's accountable for. And Andy and I don't always like have that, but we're definitely really good at figuring it out, just like with open communication of what do you need my help with and what can I jump in on and hey, can you handle that? There's no like animosity of this person's stepping on my shoes or this person's not pulling their weight, right? At the end of the day, it's Andy's business. He has the say. I'm here to support him and just try to take shit off of his plate whenever I'm the right person to take it off. That's my role in the business. And that's the role I want to play for that business. That's where I can add the most value and my value is only really added through helping him crush it. If I can help him crush it, then I'm adding the most value. But the downside is like, yeah, if shit goes south, divorces are expensive, and they're expensive whether it's like a marriage or a business partnership. They're equally expensive to try to get out. So I have never, and I have a shitload of business partners. I have 4 in our holding company. I have Andy in that business. I have Derek in our Cincinnati business. I got Gino in our Naples business. I've never had a business partnership go south yet. I'm sure at some point one will, because that's just the way the world works. But I think that is like, and maybe I'm good at doing business partnerships. I don't know. Like maybe there's a skill set in doing that where you're good at being amicable, but also like giving the reinforcement and the help that people need. But man, if one of those goes south, shit gets sour really fast. Because it's always about money, right? And it's always about what's mine, and the same shit in a true, marriage and divorce. It's like I don't want to go through that. I'm sure at some point it'll happen because you can only do business partnerships so much before you make one bad judgment. Even I want to talk about the CPA firm that we're looking at acquiring or go. We're not looking at a specific one. We're looking at a few of them, but in that world, I'm not a CPA. I can't buy a CPA firm. Like legally, I cannot buy a CPA firm. At least not in the state of Minnesota. So a CPA and I are looking at buying a business together, but he has to be 51%. I can only be 49%, or my holding company can only be 49%. So it's like partnership. We're doing this thing. So I'm definitely not opposed to it. Dave, I'm curious, besides this one that you just bought with your manager, who's now your business partner, have you done any partnerships like that in the past, or is this the first one?
Oh, it's the first time I've ever had a partner. Yep. Yeah. New territory. New territory. And I've heard that too. And I know that, but I've known this guy for 8 years. So it's not like I just met him, You've
been dating for a while.
Yeah. I've been definitely dating for a while. I know his shortcomings. And mine too. There's things I'm not good at, and there's things I'm really good at, and same with him. And before we did this, I sat down with him, and I'm like, I am going to hold you accountable to the things you suck at, and it's gonna be uncomfortable, and it's gonna be hard, but I need to see that you can do this. And I had him do it in our business before. I'm like, before I put my money into this, I need you to change in this area and that area. There was 2 things that I asked him to change, and he did, man. He stepped up and made a conscious effort, and he changed. So, now he's got skin in the game. So I think, that in itself brings a lot out of somebody, right?
Yep.
Does he still have a role in the other businesses, or is this just like now he's fully focused on this one?
Well, it's funny you say that, because he's actually in Phoenix today working on a pretty large project, which I'm not happy about. He should be up in Flagstaff. But he does, like, Flagstaff's seasonal too. It's not as seasonal as Minnesota, but it'll slow down in the winter, and we're happy to give him work down in the Phoenix area. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're going to pay him kind of his hourly wage, because he was salary. We'll pay him his hourly wage whenever he's down in Phoenix, and just figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
Talk about the new territory element, because that's a whole different business. I mean, we started diving into the insurance side, but let's just go back to the business side. There's a lot that changes. There's a lot of challenges that you're trying to deal with when you move into, specifically when you cross state lines, right? I mean, that's really where things start to go. I mean, how's that starting to shape up for you?
Yeah, so Colorado's the other state we're in. We hired a guy for about a year to run it, and we knew all along he wasn't the guy. He was a guy. And he can't talk without saying the F word. It's not very customer friendly, and he was a great guy, just he wasn't the right guy. So a few months back, we replaced him with another guy. But I probably didn't tell you this even yet, Dan, but about a month ago, we hired a guy to come in and absolutely run Denver completely. This guy's got a huge salary. He's got a company truck. We even gave him a signing bonus. And he worked for a large VC owned company, and he grew eight locations. So it was like Tampa, Nashville, Dallas, and I don't know the other 5 cities. But he grew each one of those cities to $4 million plus a year in sales. And he did it all in about 3 years. And I don't know how this guy did it. But I'm like, man, I want you on my team. You come work for me. And he's like, I want to live in Denver. This is so crazy that this is happening. So we hired him about a month ago. And it's to be determined. I've spent a lot more money than what we've gotten back so far. But
it takes a minute.
I'm rolling some serious dice that this guy's going to perform.
Yep.
So yeah, and state lines, it's a bit of a flight, from here to Denver's 2-hour flight, which it doesn't sound that bad. It's not like you can drive to it. Like we could drive to Vegas. It's, only 3 hours or so. So
right.
It's a little bit of a challenge.
Yep.
That was the reason why we exited St. Louis, is that there weren't a lot of direct flights, and it was a pain in the butt for me to get there. And we didn't make the ballsy move to go hire that person. We hired some general managers that were good, but they weren't business owner like people. That wasn't like the risk that they sought. And
yeah, we were at a crossroads where we said we're going to go big or go home. Like,
yep.
I mean, we did okay in the first year. We did about 350,000, which isn't bad for, the first year starting right out of the gate, no contracts, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we were like, we're either going to go big or go home. And this guy came and I interviewed him. Me and my general manager, Steve, interviewed him. And we were like, where in the world did this guy come from? And my wife, Marilyn. Marilyn's like, no, we don't need anybody else. I'm like, no, you're going to get on the call and you're going to talk to this guy. And she talked to him. She's like, where did you find this guy? And I'm like, I don't know where he came from, but I'm excited. So I don't know. At least he got me sold into it. We'll see how it pans out.
He made one sale. He made at least one sale.
He sold me, that's for sure.
And I think in hindsight, where the business we sold was our St. Louis home cleaning business, and we struggled to grow it. And probably like 2017, we hired a guy, but it was like, he was really like the third string guy. We interviewed 3 people pretty seriously. The guy we really wanted, we made an offer to, and he took a different offer, and we should have made a more aggressive offer. I think if we would have hired him, we would have doubled our business, and we'd still be in that business. And we probably would have brought him on as a business partner in it. Instead, the number 2 person ended up not being as good of a number 2 person as we thought. So we had her come in, and it turns out she lived an hour away from the office and was super mobile. She basically lived in an RV, and her husband worked on pipelines, and they would hop around all over the place. They just happened to be in St. Louis for the next year. And I was like, oh, interesting to find this out after 3 interviews.
So let me ask you this, that number 1 guy you wanted and you didn't offer him enough. This guy, when I interviewed him, I didn't offer him a wage or a salary or a signing bonus. I asked him what he wanted.
Yep. And that was so we got a range from this guy. And we made an offer within the range, but we were too conservative. We should have been more aggressive on that offer.
Yeah.
And then he didn't need a lot. He wasn't asking for the moon. But he gave us a range, and we were, in the middle of that range, and somebody was in the high end of that range, and so we didn't get him.
We asked him what he wanted, and he was pretty close to what I thought he was going to ask. And then I just moved a few other things around. Like he wanted another bonus, and I'm like, look, when you reach this much in sales, then you'll get that bonus.
Yeah.
So I just moved some things around, made it work. But I felt like it was really important that I asked what he wanted. So,
Yep. Agreed. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, right? But I do think that role is make or break. In a remote location, if you don't have a good operator there,
yeah,
in my experience, it's going to fizzle. Even if you have super loyal people, just like not everybody is built to grow a business. Some people can run it, but not everybody can grow it. It's
like the difference in Denver too, Corey, is like the guy we had running it didn't, like Mitch, for instance, has worked in our office with us for 8 years. He's a company man. He knows the company culture. He knows everything about our business. The guys we had running Denver for the last year was from Denver. We brought him in here to Phoenix, and he only worked for us for like a month. We couldn't like exactly get the culture in him and everything. He wasn't the right fit. So that's the other thing, is if like I had somebody working here for 8 years and then I sent them to Denver, I wouldn't worry about it. But that's how we did that location. And so now I'm paying for it by paying for a really expensive guy.
Yep.
Let me do this, fellas. Let's take another quick commercial break. We got to hit number 2 here as we go, and then we got another like 10-15 minutes left to wrap this thing up. I want to talk a little bit about our business sale and a little bit about the CPA firm, and just like what you're looking for when you buy and sell businesses, what matters. So we'll come right back to Bookkeeping Beer and BS after these messages. Don't go nowheres.
Everybody, Wayne Bowles, the Prophet, your host of Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. If you listen to my show, you know I'm all about profit. As an industry, profit is something we fail to meet most of the time. If you're working hard but not seeing the results that you deserve, Profits Unlimited is here to help. We offer processes and systems designed specifically to make your company more successful, more profitable, and certainly more efficient. When you're ready to take your company to the next level, reach out to me at profitsareus.com. That's profitsareus.com. And don't forget to turn into Profit Time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Fed up with your current software solution? FieldRoutes is the cloud-based software technology you need to level up your lawn care business. From routing to scheduling, collections, marketing, reporting, and more. It's the all-in-one solution that automates, not complicates. FieldRoutes helps lawn care companies simplify, scale, and grow. Schedule your free demo today by visiting fieldroutes.com. That's fieldroutes.com.
Hey, this is Aaron, your host of the Weekend Review here on Turfs Up Radio. Be sure not to miss a new episode every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. I'll be with a new guest contributor every week reviewing what you may have missed on Turfs Up Radio, and together we'll help you plan your week by getting you the most out of our Traffic on the Turf and Product of the Day segments. That's the Weekend Review every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. And remember, Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Let the world know you need business.
Hey, landscape pros, the
Dan disappeared again.
We lost Dan again.
Yes.
Man, I had something fun to show him too. I had to run up to my door and get a package. I figured Dan would appreciate it, but we got to wait for him to get back. Wait till you see what I'm about to bust out. It's part of my Halloween costume that my wife and I are doing for our family Halloween party.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Oh, you should be. I got to wait for him.
All right.
I don't know, dudes. I don't know. No, I was on my hotspot, and then that decided to stop working. I'm gonna get off of the radio station and jump back on here. Let me mess with that for a sec. Okay, I think we're back on the radio station.
Dan, while you do that,
hit me.
I had to go upstairs to get a package from my door during that commercial break. It's part of my Halloween costume my wife and I are doing.
Oh, hell yeah.
And you got to see this. First time I've ever owned one of these, and I'm 37 years old.
Pair of Zubas. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Nice.
Look at that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's going to be beautiful.
I'm surprised you came down with it empty. A little bit surprised.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a whole lot of time, but aren't you going to ask me what I'm going to be?
Beer drinking helmet guy. What
No.
else? What else?
That's a caddy suit.
Oh, yeah. You're the dude from Happy Gilmore?
And my wife's going to be Happy Gilmore. She's got the Bruins jersey in the mail on the way. Backwards hat, hockey stick. I'm going to carry a little set of golf clubs around. That's a good costume, right?
That's a brilliant costume. Can Dana pull off Happy Gilmore? Can she?
Yeah, I mean, I think she can. She's got short hair, so she'll just not have any of it showing, and she'll have the hat on backwards. With the jersey and the hockey stick, I mean, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I dig that. That. Maybe she should carry like a broken rake with her. Be like, oh, I was just putting this back in the woods, you know?
Yeah, we got to. The whole point is you got to get some of the lingo down. We went as Wayne's World one year, and I look shockingly similar to Mike Myers. I mean, I really do, especially with a wig on.
I was going to say she was Garth and you were Wayne. Yep.
Right, but that thing that Garth does, I can't even do it, man. It's like the dude. I'm not kidding. My wife hated that I said this, but it's true. She looked just like him. Like, it's crazy. She looks just like Dana Carvey, and her name's Dana, and it's absolutely creepy.
That's spooky.
It's like hard to explain how much she looked like him. Okay, here I got to actually show you.
Yeah,
I got to actually show you. Look at this.
Let's see this. We'll see. We'll see if your camera does it justice. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right.
You just go like that every year.
Right. And then she would always do like the little like mannerisms from the movie and stuff. She's a big
go like swing.
Yeah, she would go swing, and we'd be walking around. And that was when we were going to bars before kids, and people were like, "Whoa, you got that nailed." And then one guy walked up and he's like, "You know, it's more embarrassing that you look like Mike Myers and she looks like Dana Carvey, right?" And I was like, "I know. I'm well aware."
You did. I saw you in that picture too. You did. You had the look, man.
Yeah, I mean, we pulled it off well, but it's funny though. Do you want to hear it? We're doing something different. So we're doing the Happy Gilmore thing, but our daughters are going as Wayne's World this year.
Oh,
and we have like the little mini like band shirt with the pullover and the glasses and the hat for the little girl. Like they're gonna be good.
What, like, is it? Are you just like out walking around doing this, or do you actually have like?
No, we're doing like a family. Like some friends of the family are coming over, and they dress the kids up, but then the adults get dressed up just because. What I mean, you got to have some fun, right? Like we're all gonna have our costumes on for like 3 hours, but like who cares? Like just have a little fun for Halloween. So
I vote we go to Corey's house, Dan. Let's go for Halloween.
Yeah. I'm in. Sign me up. I hear there's freaking old fashions for everybody.
There's old fashions anytime you come to my house. But no, hey, but Dan, before you finalize and wrap this up on the CPA stuff, I just wanted to point out that, we talk a lot about, crossing state lines, going to new territories, things along those lines. And David mentioned work comp when we first got on here. Anybody listening that's dealing with growing and getting bigger and moving across state lines and doing different things, just understand that you need to be asking the right questions, because when you start moving into different states, and I'm primarily talking about insurance now, but I know it applies to tax and all kinds of fun other things. But in insurance, it can be so different. And I actually texted Dave on the side. I said, hey, tell me the states that you're in. And the reason I did it was I didn't know what states they all were, but it doesn't really matter because in the world we live in, let me give you an example. If you're in Arizona, like Dave is, and they have a work comp claim, there's a 7-day waiting period before benefits are paid. Okay, I'll come back to that. In Colorado, there's a 3-day waiting period. And in Nevada, there's a 4-day waiting period. Now in Nevada, where there's a 4-day waiting period, you can actually send the employee to the clinic they want to go, but they have an election to try to change whatever clinic that is. Okay. I'm going to keep rattling a few things off because this is going to get interesting when I summarize it all up. All right. In Arizona, okay, there is no managed care. The worker has the right to choose what doctor they're going to go to. Okay. And then when you start talking about Colorado, they've got a whole different unique deal when it comes to.
You can go talk to any weed dealer they want about it. They can go to any weed dealer to get medicated.
They can pretty much do whatever they want. But now check this out. In regards to workers' compensation, one of those states isn't ERA applied, meaning you're not getting a 70% reduction on work comp claims. The other two are. The reason I'm bringing this up is workers' compensation is a financing tool of your business. It's not insurance. It's high price financing. You're paying these claims back. And whether or not a claim is lost time, AKA the waiting period I referenced, 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, determines whether or not you get a 70% reduction on your mod. In 2 of these states, they are allowed to get it. In 1 state, they can't get it anyway. My point to this is, the managed care element. If you can get them to the doctor of your choosing, an occupational specialist, the chance of you getting them back to work are 10 times higher than getting them back if they go to an emergency room or a family practitioner. All of these things dictate how well you respond to a claim and how well you manage your program, therefore how much money you pay. But when you're in 3 different states like this, or potentially in 3 states, Dave, I know you're not in Las Vegas yet. The point is, when you're in 3 different states, if you don't know how to manage claims in each individual state, you can cost your company tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars because you don't know what you need to be doing. In a 7-day waiting period state, you got way more time to work with the doctor and get them back. In a 3-day waiting period state, you don't. If you don't get the 70% discount anyway, you got a lot more work to do on the back end. So my point is just make sure that you have somebody that's explaining all of these things to you if you're a business owner, because Dave has a challenge right now that he's got to sort through all of this to make sure he's doing everything as efficiently as he can, or these insurance companies, they don't give you a break.
Yeah, they're not our friends. They're not here to help us. They're here to break us.
Well, they can be your friends if they're the right ones, because a lot of them can be set up in a way to help. But that's another good point, Dave. Somebody that you're working with in Arizona might be wonderful at managing work comp claims in Arizona. But if you started using them in Colorado, they might write business in Colorado, but they might not have any claims adjusters that have any experience in Colorado. Therefore, they're not doing what they could or should be doing if they were a more well-versed company. All of these pieces come into play. So I just wanted to do my little tidbit on that to help remind people that it's so crucial to know what you're dealing with in each state. And I've said this before on the show, and I'll say it again. Work comp from state to state is like English to Italian to Spanish to German if you're talking about languages. It's that different.
Does that apply to like general liability and auto at all, or is that more consistent from state to state to state?
So I would argue it's more consistent from state to state to state, but there are still nuances that you need to be aware of. Put it this way. If you're working with an insurance professional or thinking of working with an insurance professional that doesn't talk about the differences between states, whether it's work comp or other lines included, if they don't even acknowledge it, talk to someone else. That's all I can say. I mean, it is too important to not have a conversation and be able to give the differences between what's going on in every different state. And it's okay if they don't. Some people specialize in the state they're in, and that's fine. The challenge is once you outgrow them and you start moving to different states, it can be a huge, huge problem for your business.
Mm-hmm. I only got like a couple minutes left here. So I'm going to skip talking about acquisition stuff on my businesses.
Sorry, dude.
We'll save that. No. But this is a good lead in for what I got going on tonight, which is we're nerding out on health insurance tonight. I got one of my employees is a health insurance broker. He does bookkeeping for us, but he also has been in the health insurance game for a while. So we're going to talk about mostly like individual lines, so like how to navigate in the post Obamacare world, what you should be thinking about, and that's super state by state by state. To a degree, different states have different programs and different elements. And so I don't know any of that shit. So this would be great to talk to him. But also he's going to talk a little bit about the business side of it. I'm sure we'll get plenty of questions. But it's like health insurance renewal time. Julie, Corey, has been just blowing me up with like, when are you going to do this? What are you going to do here? Especially with our business sale. Julie could have told you. She knew we were selling the business last week because I was like, I have one employee where I'm like, I need to get her on our insurance or the other health insurance we have. So we're going to be nerding out on health insurance tonight. And it's like, now is the time. It's renewal time, like big time for health insurance. So if you're out there, if you're thinking about offering a company plan, or if you just need to figure out your own health insurance and make sure you're doing it right, I think tonight's episode with Matt is going to be sneaky cool. It's going to be sexy. It's going to be hot and sexy. I'll save my acquisition talk because I want to like pontificate on it, but I don't actually have anything that's happened yet besides we sold the business because I found somebody that could run it better than me. That was the goal. But I've been looking for that person for 4 years. I tried hiring him a couple times, and then I was like, nope, I need to find a business partner. Never found a business partner. Found a guy that's a bookkeeping client of ours, actually. Corey, the one cleaning authority guy that I might at some point I introduced you and Mike.
Yes. Yep.
Mike bought out the big cleaning authority franchise that was like in our neighborhood, like our number one competitor. And he told me that this spring, and I was like, that's interesting. Do you want some more? Because he was the perfect guy, and he was always like, well, I can't buy your business because I can't go in there and like compete with another franchise, right? But once he bought that other franchise,
Mike's never called me back, so I'm not Mike and I, we're not friends yet, but maybe someday.
Buddies. You're not buddies. Well,
someday. I've never had a chance to talk to him.
You never know. All right, guys. Oh yeah, I gotta do. Let me play some music here. I gotta play the tunes. Boom. All right, let's play it out. Corey, thanks for jumping on. Yeah, Dave, what time you getting there tomorrow? What time you getting in?
1 o'clock or so.
Okay, I think I'll be 3-ish. I'm trying to shoot to get out of here at like 9 or 10. I'll get there by 5. I'll be there by 5. I got some shit I need to do in the morning before I head out. I'm driving.
Oh, you're driving?
Yeah, it's 6 hours away. It's like by the time I fly, it'd take me 6 hours to get there. So
listen to an audiobook. Make it worth your time.
Dan Parker's coming into town tomorrow. We're gonna play a little golf.
Oh, golf. Sorry, I got the music too loud. I can't hear what you guys are saying. You got the old man coming to town to do some golfing.
Yep. I haven't seen him in a while. I said, just you. Me and you, boy, father, son, go play a round of golf, get caught up. Been too long. He's like, I'm in.
You should have done it like this weekend and Monday when it was nice out instead of, right now where it's going to dip into the 40s and 50s. It'll feel like high school golf all over.
I was going to say, we played high school golf in Wisconsin. You think my dad and I care? No.
I'm going swimming this afternoon. Seriously, guys. It's dipped into the 90s here. Our pool's finally cool enough to go swimming in. It's been dipped into the
90s. Sounds miserable.
If it was possible, I would go golfing and ice fishing on the same day, Dan.
I think we could make that happen, Corey. I think we can make that happen. All right, business nerds. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out, Corey, Dave. Appreciate you guys. Nerds, go give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a share. Do all the social media stuff. Rate the podcast. Check us out tonight. If you have any curiosity about the health insurance world, I'm super looking forward to that conversation with Matt, having a few beers, nerding out on health insurance and learning all the shit I need to know. Because apparently I'm getting older and I need that stuff. So tune in 8 o'clock Central. We'll be live on Facebook, on the YouTubes, and of course the podcast will be coming out later. Until then, work harder and smarter, guys. Go make some money. Peace.